All right. Moving on to Strange Corgi's question.
Strange corgi, like the dog?
Yes.
Okay.
She said corgi.
I did.
She said corgi.
Oh, she didn't say corgi. She said corgi. Well, it sounds like a
Strange
never mind.
Corgi. I'm sorry. Here's the question.
Yep. Thank you.
I'm not sure you've covered this before, but how should I approach life insurance for children? Should you buy life insurance for your children? And if so, how much?
Well, here's the thing. It's only a few bucks a month, right? Like you could get life insurance for, it's so cheap. It's cheaper the younger the child is than it will be for their entire life. That's often the story that you hear. This is what, Strange Corgi, I would like for you to think of. What is the reason that we buy life insurance? What is the purpose of getting life insurance in place? And as someone who used to be on the insurance side of the industry, what we learn in school and what we're taught is that the reason that you buy life insurance is because someone in your life is depending on you for their well-being. They're either depending on the assets or depending on the income for their well-being. So you have an insurable need if you have a spouse, significant other, if you have debt, if you have children. There are other circumstances that if you were not here, there are obligations that are necessary. So that's the premise of having an insurable need on someone's life. Well, now the question becomes, okay, when you think about your child, when you think about a young child that, maybe was just born like 2 or 3 days ago, is there an insurable need on their lives? Is there anyone depending on their financial creation to provide? And every time I go through the scenario in my head, there's not a need to be able to replace that child's income or that child's ability to provide. So I am a proponent that I do not think it makes sense to buy life insurance on children. Agree or disagree?
Well, I definitely don't. I didn't buy insurance on either one of my kids, but I do. I mean, I will tell you, it's funny. We just did a whole wedding ring question. I love because I get to turn a negative, like talking about death, into a positive, talking about getting married. My parents were like your typical parents. They got sold some permanent life insurance on me when I was born. And then the $2,000 of my wedding ring came from cash value. Yes.
Well, okay. Well,
so, but that doesn't mean that's good. There's no, that's not good though. Bo, that is horrible.
Meaning it could
that
have
means
come
my
from somewhere
poor
else.
parents who did not, their idea of investing was CDs, never really built. They were great at saving money, but not great at maximizing and turning money into wealth. Was that this is another, trap that they fell into where somebody sold them a product that probably they should have been buying instead of $50 a month going to Brian's life insurance that he used $2,000 for cash value. That $50 a month should have been buying an investment fund that could have made them $1 million, or $500,000 closer to financial independence for them by investing into a mutual fund or something. So Bo just took the biggest chunk of meat when he said, what's the why on what you buy insurance for? And these kids, they consume your resources. They don't actually create income unless you got Macaulay Culkin back in his day when he was doing Home Alone and stuff. Most kids are consuming what you're creating. So you're not replacing their income. The biggest thing the why is burial costs.
Like
and that's sad. Yeah, that's sad to think about. So there is a cost there, but that's why if you want to take this into account, you can look at your emergency reserves and go, hey, if I had this type of cost come my way, and if you can plan for that. I mean, it's kind of morbid because, but there's death, unfortunately, is one of those things that there's a big reward or discount, I should say, if you pre-plan for it versus waiting until the death occurs and then buying everything at the forced moment that you have to pay for all the services. That's a morbid thing because these products are sold through fear. And here's the good news. Most kids don't die. So that's why it's a very cost-effective thing. And that leads to my third point on this is I always thought it was weird that this always falls into the permanent insurance category because this is a term. Your kids are owning your house for that
18 to 20 years.
18 to 20 years. The burial cost is your commitment because, like I said, they're consumers of your resources. They're not, adding to your balance sheet or your income statement for your household. So that's a period of time that you can measure why would you buy permanent insurance on that? That's just always a weird thing. Most people are going to use it like I did to buy their wedding rings or start. But if you want to do that, you could open a custodial
much
account.
better vehicles for that,
and you could put $50 a month into it, and come out, or $529. Once they start working, you could do a matching funds for a custodial Roth account. There's all kind of cool things in there. Life insurance for kids is one of those things. Just ask yourself what the why is. I'm not saying no. It's but just make sure that's the big thing about insurance. You have to match up what the goal is, the why, with what your needs are personally. And that's why I was following all kind of Jeremy over Personal Finance.
Personal Finance Club.
He has been, now it's not kids insurance, but he bought, and I think it was an indexed universal life policy or something like that. And he has been ripping them up. I mean, because he bought a policy to actually show them he bought a policy so that he could see all the inner workings. And it's fascinating to kind of follow that type of content and see somebody who goes in on the inside kind of as like an undercover sting operation, and then tells you, because he's wired the right way mentally as a software guy who's now wired like an engineer type mindset, that he can go in there and look at this stuff. Yeah, I think it's brilliant. So just understand the why. Don't let somebody sell you on the fear of this.